So, like, we wanted to ask you, like, who wins in a death match? We have a couple matchups.
So we're going right into it.
Jordan Peterson versus Cenk Uyghur? Uyghur?
Whatever his name is. I mean, Peterson wins, obviously. He's lanky, he's tall, the reach. Obviously.
He seems frail lately, though.
The one thing Cenk is sort of an amorphous, fat blob, and I suppose his hand would get caught, one of those, when you punch like the real sort of fat blob guy and then your hand gets stuck in there and then that whole thing. But I feel like Jordan would be quick enough on his feet to be able to put down the blob.
And he'd use a lot of mind games.
There would be a lot of trickery and shenanigans. Right. Yeah.
He'd get, is it Cenk?
Cenk.
So it's almost like jank.
Yeah.
That's the kids mean, when the kids say jank, that means it's all wacky.
I cannot believe I worked for that guy.
Yeah.
You ever have moments you look back on life and you go, I really can't believe I did that. That's how I feel about that whole experience.
Well, let's talk about that for the next 40 minutes.
Oh, God.
But we got to get to this. There's also Ben Shapiro versus 7 Weasels.
Ben Shapiro versus 7 Weasels.
All right, folks.
Yeah, well, the 7 is getting me on this one.
Yeah, he's surrounded. They're circling him.
He's Ben
preparing.
is fast. I feel like he could use the yarmulke to maybe take out one, like in some sort of
Captain America shield.
Yeah, like yeah.
But the yarmulke throwing star.
Right. 7 Weasels.
Would he bite any of them?
I mean, the Weasels have the height advantage.
Yeah, that's 2 hands, 2 feet, and a mouth.
Well, I guess the issue really is, could the Weasels combine into one super Weasel, much like Devastator, the Transformer, the Constructicons. Alone, they weren't that strong, but together they formed Devastator. I'll give it to Shapiro. He's lived through Twitter mobs and other such things. It builds
very similar to Weasels.
I think what he does is he grabs 2 weasels, snaps their spines, turns them into weasel chucks, and takes out the rest of the weasels.
It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
How about Roseanne Barr versus Stacey Abrams?
Oh, God.
We know who would have claimed they won.
Yeah, right. Roseanne versus Stacey Abrams. Well, I'll tell you this. Roseanne smokes a lot of weed. I don't know that that's relevant in any way, but I have smoked. I have been to Roseanne's house and smoked weed with her, and that woman smokes professional grade weed, not just the swag that the kids are smoking. She's like smoking stuff that really, if you have glaucoma,
like in a silver briefcase,
you can see through things after. I don't know that that's relevant exactly. Roseanne versus Stacey Abrams. Well, Stacey Abrams, she would cheat. She would cheat, and she would claim that you were the cheater, and thus she would win. Okay. She would win the battle, but lose the war. How about that?
Tucker Carlson versus Dan Crenshaw. We have the pensive stare versus the half stare.
The guy with one eye. I'll get Crenshaw's been to war.
That's true.
So
he's a Navy SEAL, maybe.
Tucker grew up wearing bow ties, and Crenshaw's been to war. So I'm going to go with the war guy on that one.
Eric Weinstein versus Harvey Weinstein.
Oh Lord. This is just a straight up battle to the death. Well, Harvey isn't Harvey after they caught him? Didn't he suddenly develop? He can't walk anymore.
He looks really
he's
frail.
A walker or whatever. I'll give Eric credit. He a lot of people gained a lot of weight during COVID. This guy, he was like walking 8,000 steps every 4 minutes or something. He's lost a little weight. I'm going to give it to Eric Weinstein.
Okay. Kirk Cameron versus Sam Harris. You just interviewed Kirk Cameron.
Yes. I really like Kirk Cameron. I got to tell you, I really like Kirk Cameron. People say whatever they want to say about him. I saw a picture of him here somewhere. There's Kirk Cameron right there.
He's the main character in the Christian cinematic universe.
Look at it. Yeah. I like Kirk a lot. Kirk versus, Sam does the MMA stuff. He does. He does a little jujitsu and that kind of thing. Kirk, Kirk's out there with the fire. He's sitting in his backyard all the time. He's got the big fire and the rocks and the whole thing.
He's got God.
And he's got God on his side. I'll go with God. Yeah. I'll go with
God. Steven Crowder versus Christian music artist Crowder.
Well, Crowder's become huge.
He's pretty bulky.
What is he doing?
Yeah, what is he doing?
Yeah, it's like, what are you making up for, dude?
Yeah.
You know, like you just keep.
And how's he have time to work out that much?
Yeah, it makes you wonder. So I don't know. I guess I'll give it to him.
Okay.
Gavin Newsom versus a duck.
I would root for the duck. I would vote. I would vote for the duck. Gavin Newsom is a truly evil man. Like, he is a bad man.
He would cheat.
He is just evil. I would hope that the duck. I would just be I would do everything I could do to ensure that the duck would win. How did you even pull those two things together, Gavin Newsom and duck?
That's why
it just came to my mind.
That was just it was just stroke of genius.
Ducks are always fun.
To juxtapose evil leader and duck.
Duck. Yeah. Ducks are always funny.
I like ducks. I got no problem with ducks.
So you are a part of our podcast intro.
I know.
On our interview.
I know.
And I think we just got our next one. Gavin Newsom is a truly evil man. That'll now be in the intro of the interview show.
Well, I would also say that Ryan Johnson is a truly evil man. You know, so there you go. You can put that in there too. There you go.
So many isolated Dave Rubin quotes.
Thomas Sowell versus Lori Lightfoot.
I mean, that woman, like, what's going on there, really? Like, what is really happening with that woman?
I do believe she died.
Are we allowed to say
been resurrected?
Something ain't right there. Look, Soul, he's got to be. I think he's 91 right now. Is he 91 or so? That guy, he's just the king. I've interviewed a gajillion people. It's like the only interview that you can actually hear it at the beginning of my voice. I was a little nervous. You can really, for the first minute or two, there was something going on. I was just so in awe by the guy. He would crush her one way. I mean, he could just drop a book on her head. That would be it. Discrimination and disparities. Boom. Like just crack it over her scary head, her shrunken head.
It's pretty creepy.
Kamala Harris versus Candice Owens.
Oh, well, nobody messes with Candice. You're not going to beat Candice. That's the easiest one. You're just not going to beat Candice. Candice, yeah.
Bishop Barron and a Balrog.
I'll say Bishop Barron, we've done many things together. He's been to my place a couple of times. I've done some other events with him. He's always got a crew of people around him that I feel like would very much get in on the fight with him and help him. Yeah, he's got an entourage.
And finally, Dave Rubin versus Paul Reubens.
At a movie
Pee Wee
theater.
Herman.
Yes, I got it.
I don't know who that is.
At a movie
Pee Wee Herman.
theater.
You know Pee Wee Herman?
I know who Pee Wee Herman is. I didn't know that was Paul Reubens.
At a movie theater. You see what I
At a
did there?
movie, yeah.
You got it. You got it because of.
He's young. I don't know if he knows.
I remember that controversy.
I was a very big fan of Paul Reubens when that happened.
Yes.
A 7-year-old.
Lost himself at a movie theater. Forgot where he was. Who would win Dave Rubin in a fight versus? Well, he's got so many gadgets, right?
True.
I mean, the guy has tremendous gadgets. He had that incredible Rube Goldberg machine at the beginning of Pee Wee Herman's Big
And he's got
Adventure.
a friend.
He's got the red bike. He's got the fat guy.
He's got Morpheus as a cowboy.
Morpheus as a cowboy.
The guy that was in The Matrix. What's his name? Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah.
So if you watch old Pee Wee, Lawrence Fishburne's like in a cowboy costume with a lasso
in the show. I think. Yeah. And he's also got the guy that lived Mecca High, Mecca High Ho.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of tricks. And to be honest with you, I've got a torn ACL in my left knee right now, and I'm having some shoulder stuff. So Paul Reubens probably with all the trickery and the shenanigans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Connect the dots. La 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 la.
My name is Kyle Mann, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Babylon Bee. Snopes, the fact-checking website, seems to think we deliberately trick people, and I'm here to set the record straight. We are fake news, so don't ever subscribe to the Babylon Bee. Alright, we got it. Oh, please, Mr. Snopes, let me go! I don't deserve this! Whatever.